Hello, everyone. Today in this podcast, we have Devyanshi Kaura. Devyanshi has secured 71 rank in UPSC 2025. So we will begin with congratulating Devyanshi. Very heartiest congratulations, Devyanshi, on your success. So we will begin with the very brief journey so far you have been following, because I know this was the fifth attempt, I guess, when you got the chance for the interview and finally you see your name in the list. So how far or how this journey has been? Because for 5 years, unfortunately, you could not get into the final list, but you have been struggling, right? So how
Yes.
this journey has been so far? Can you just brief about it, describe about it?
Okay, so I'll just give you a brief, overview of my process and my attempts. So I
Mm-hmm.
graduated college in 2020 during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and my plan was
Mm-hmm.
कि I'll study. I'll give the attempt in 2021, which is what I
Mm-hmm.
did. I cleared the prelims that year, but I wasn't able to clear the mains.
Okay.
Uh, After that, I gave an attempt in 22, 23, and
Mm-hmm.
24. All of those years,
Okay.
I could not clear the pre. And
Okay.
finally, in 25, I was able to clear all the stages.
Okay.
Just a couple of, my own learnings from this attempting
Mm-hmm.
journey so far.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, when I gave the attempt in 2021, मेरे
Mm-hmm.
को ये feel हुआ in hindsight that bilingual is all right, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
I felt this thing कि I was not adequately prepared for the mains. I had studied
Mm-hmm.
the syllabus, but I hadn't done,
Mm-hmm.
the aspect of answer writing and all of that. In fact, I think even in my optional, like, some of my notes for paper two weren't complete by the time I gave the
Okay.
prelim. I was like,
Mhm.
wo jo 3 mahine ka time hota, I was struggling to just finish optional paper two ke notes
Right.
and get to that. So I think that was one mistake. I should have, before I gave the pre itself, it should have been
Uh-huh.
I am doing XYZ, I have a checklist, I've cleared that checklist, and then I'm sitting for the
Right.
exam. Second
Right.
thing, साइकिल मेनिया ये
Mhm.
मेरे साथ होता है आई बिलीव ये बहुत एस्पिरेंट्स के साथ होता है हम एक साइकिल
Yes.
देते हैं हमारा नहीं होता है हमें लगता है यार बस ये थोड़ी सी और कमी बची थी इसको हम फटाफट कर लेंगे एंड नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में वी जस्ट जंप इनटू इट वी डू नॉट हैव
Right.
द स्ट्रेटजी ठीक है
Yes.
दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड विद मी इन 22 23 24
Okay.
22 के अंदर I was, sort of in the right mindset, but I didn't clear paper two, even though I cleared paper one in prelims.
Okay.
23,
Okay.
24 के time, I was doing my masters, and I thought, कि,
Okay.
like, okay, I'll balance और वो सब, smart person.
Yes.
But I wasn't able to do that balancing act. And वो,
Mhm.
मतलब, in my personal opinion and hindsight, I should have taken a step back and sort of thought about it, strategized, analyzed, and कि भाई मुझे कब देना चाहिए and whatever, you get the gist.
Right.
And
Right.
that was the approach I had for 25 because I was like, you need to sort of step back and see कि आप गलत कहाँ जा रहे हो.
Right. Very.
So
So,
that's क्या.
so I think if we summarize the entire phase, so in the initial phases, you was committing the same mistake which many students are committing nowadays, still nowadays, right? Because they divide their entire preparation ki pehle I will focus more on the prelims, like basics, then I will do for prelims, then I will do for the mains, and then finally I will start with the answer writing when I will have all the notes, when I will go through
Correct.
all the previous year's questions, right? I think that is what you might have done in the initial phases.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Because this is exactly what happens even nowadays. Most of the time, students, they just focus on the prelims, because when they start their preparation, for example, if someone is going to appear for 2027, they will be spending
Hmm.
some time with the basic books, right? And
Hmm.
from September and October, they will pick up the answer writing
Hmm.
program.
Hmm.
By December, again, they will start realizing कि यार चलो अब तो prelims आने वाला है, right? And again, they will jump on the prelims process. So
Correct.
basically, अगर हम देखते हैं तो we are spending just 3 months or max 4 months into the mains,
Hmm.
and
Correct.
after the prelims, then again we pick up. So I think this
Yeah.
is the biggest problem among the students. They don't really know what should be the process, or everyone knows that yes, the process has to be integrated, but how to integrate everything, all the steps in a phase wise, that is what I think is missing in this part, right? In this entire
Absolutely.
journey,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So
I agree with that.
yes. So, Devyanshi, was there a point in your UPSC journey where you almost quit? what pulled you back? Because it has been a long journey, right? So there must be some moment.
I think that when I was doing my masters in 2023 and 24, I
Mm-hmm.
feel kind of kind that my heart wasn't fully in it for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, I was very happy doing my masters, and in my mind,
Okay.
I was like, hey, like this could also be a great, like career path for me. I mean,
Yes.
I'm like a nerd type of person, so I enjoy studying and whatever, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing was, I think that because I wasn't able to give it the time and the diligence it requires, you know.
Okay.
So at that point, I felt that, maybe I should step back for sure. And एक, वो चीज़ तो होती है that you've been in something for so long और तुम्हें लगता है कि बस एक जैसे कहते हैं ना टनल चल रही है, there's no light
Yes.
at the end of the tunnel. तो तुम
Right.
you're you're losing hope. You're constantly losing hope and you're constantly, वो. But मुझे जो चीज़ फील होती है personally, we have to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
dissociate, detach our feelings from the process. मैं आपको
Right.
अभी मैं बता रही हूँ. I never looked at topper videos. I never looked at, like, okay, life at La Basna, things like that, whatever, like वो जो होता है, like when you're in the process, I know
हाँ,
that
मतलब
people do
मैनिफेस्ट,
it.
जैसे जैसे हम लोग मैनिफेस्ट करते हैं कि आई विल बी going to Labasna and all, I will be
तो
enjoying the life there. So
कहते हैं ना
manifestation
सबके
you are
बहाने
talking.
लड़कपन के. I was like, I will not do any of that. I was like,
हाँ हाँ.
I have no feelings attached. मैंने अपनी सारी feelings को detach कर लिया. मेरा सारा ध्यान
Okay.
है process में. I have to
Right.
wake up today. What do I need to do today? That is all that matters to me. Nothing else. Everything else that happens, I will bother about it when the time comes. And
Yes.
if the
Very
time
good.
comes.
Yes.
So I think that would be my advice to anyone who's in the multiple attempt cycle. देखो अगर आपने ठान लिया कि अच्छा मैंने देना है, that
Right.
is on you. That is a personal decision. You have weighed the
Exactly.
costs and the benefits. But once you have taken that decision, dissociate yourself from your feelings.
Yes.
Some days you'll feel good, some days you'll feel bad. It doesn't matter. Focus on the
Yes.
process, not the
Yes.
outcomes.
Very good. So yes, so this is what even I was talking with other rankers, even they emphasized on the process. Never attach yourself with the outcome or the end. You should
Hmm.
focus only on the means, like how you are going to achieve the end, the means of achieving the ends, right? So because when we look at the end and finally when we are not able to clear due to any reason, maybe it prelims or mains, then finally breakdown to hota hi hai wo. And for
100%.
next few months, again, everything is ruined, right? Because when we think about the outcome rather than focusing on the mistakes which we have or which we realized we have committed in the previous attempt, instead of that realization we start everything from the scratch, है ना? हम
Hmm.
लोग हर चीज नए तरीके से नया लाइक वी चेंज द इंटायर स्ट्रैटेजी. अब भी आप
Hmm.
कोई भी काम करने जाओगे तो अगेन यू विल फाइंड द प्रॉब्लम इन दैट, यू विल फेस द चैलेंजेस,
Hmm.
राइट? सो जैसा आपने बोला कि दिव्यांशी, दैट assessment is very very important rather than changing the entire strategy, entire plan, entire sources, because nowadays there is that there is a plenty of resources to read anything, right? So people, many students, they jump. This year they are reading some current affair magazine, next year they will pick up another source, right? So this is, I think, which student needs to avoid, right? So, Devyanshi, as far as the answer writing is concerned, right, is there any phases you have divided your answer writing practice? Or is there any phases, are there any phases through which you have improvised on your answer writing, like in the initial phases where you was focusing on, then next year where you started focusing on?
Okay. So I'll add two things in this. First is sort of my sort of philosophical angle to this. You should
Mm-hmm.
think of answer writing like a skill. गाड़ी चलाते हैं ना जैसे, देखो शुरू में स्टार्ट
Yes,
करते हैं, you are confused, you don't know the directions, all of that. You do it
right,
enough, it starts feeling natural. आपका हाथ बैठ जाता है. That is the
yes,
same with answer writing. It is not
right,
the quality, it will come, it is the quantity. The more you do it, the better your answers will naturally start improving, and nobody will be able to necessarily pinpoint कि इसमें आपका improve हुआ है, इसमें आपका worsen हुआ है, things like that. You just have to
right,
write and it will improve on
exactly.
its own. Second, as far as वो phases वाली चीज is concerned, so during 2024, after my
Mm-hmm.
master's was over, तो देखो आई न्यू कि मेरा जो कंटेंट है वगैरह काफी हद तक प्रिपेयर्ड, आई न्यू व्हाट आई एम राइटिंग, थिंग्स लाइक दैट, व्हाटएवर. बट इवन देन माय थिंग वाज कि मुझे आंसर्स लिखने हैं. So the plan was every week I have to do 7 to 10 questions because I had a lot of
Okay.
inertia doing it. You still ask me, I will still have a lot of inertia doing it, but I forced myself that I have to do 7 to 10 each week in this phase.
Okay.
So let's say till
Okay.
December. Till last week of November, I was like, I have to do about, this many questions each week. And that is what I stuck to. I gave myself that metric across different subjects.
Okay.
Then when finally the 3 months came, जो आपके prelims और mains के बीच का phase होता है, तब मैंने obviously I joined a test series कि भाई मुझे regularized test देना है. I was like 9-10 टेस्ट मुझे किसी तरह देने हैं. ठीक है, ये पर्सनल नहीं चाहिए. मुझे पता था कि मेरी स्किल लेवल कितनी है, मुझे कितनी प्रैक्टिस की रिक्वायरमेंट है, मेरे लिए कितना वॉल्यूम अप्रोप्रिएट है टेस्ट लिखने का. अपने
Right.
लिए जज कीजिए. मैंने वो जज किया एंड आई वाज लाइक मैं 9-10 टेस्ट लिखूंगी. साथ ही साथ on my own, I will pick up the PYQs, write the answers. Every day,
Okay.
4 to 5 answers. Because that is your most intensive answer writing phase. You have to be able
Yes.
to write answers on the fly. तुमको किसी ने
Right.
question दिया, you can take 30 seconds to think on it, write an answer. उस चीज को उस फेज में खुद को ट्रेन करना है. तो that was
Okay.
my approach to it.
Okay, that's good. Yes, so that is how I think everyone's supposed to follow the process, because even that is what even I explain to my students, that don't try to write the perfect answer on a very first day or maybe week. You should first get habitual of it, right? आप इतनी प्रैक्टिस कर लो, बिकॉज जितनी आजकल हम लोग प्रैक्टिस करते हैं इससे ज्यादा तो हम लोग स्कूल में लिखते थे, राइट? इवन देयर वाज नो कोई पर्पस नहीं था. हम लोग स्कूल में डेली आके जो होमवर्क मिलता था, वी यूज्ड टू राइट इट डाउन ओनली, बट राइट, बट नाउ व्हेन वी गो टू द लाइब्रेरी, हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर होल्डिंग द पेन एंड पेपर? नो वन, हार्डली, वेरी फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स. और उसी का इम्पैक्ट हमको मेंस में दिखता है, right? Because everything has become a very digital. We are reading digital, right? We are listening, but we are not writing. मैं तो ये बोलता हूँ, आप भले ही आंसर मत लिखो, एटलीस्ट whatever you read, just scribble it down and throw the paper out, right? But at least make sure you write it on a daily basis. It could be previous year's questions, it could be the editorial which you are reading. Just try to analyze in your own words and write it down. Read, right? That is also equivalent to answer.
Absolutely. And I would just like to add one thing here, because this is so I have also been, I've been a teacher also for the past 1-2 months. So this is something I've picked up, and I just want to advise students, caution students, please do not use Chat GPT or, Gen AI right now for writing your answers. Because
Yes.
Before you write, it is first a test of how you think and how you brainstorm. If you use Gen AI right now excessively to generate things, you will have that cognitive debt and that loss. Ki yaar, you cannot think on your own how to write an answers.
Yes.
So don't lose that skill. Use Gen AI. I'm not technology averse. Use it for in the right way. You want to evaluate answers, you want to do research, exhaustive research. You do it for things like that. Do not use it to give you the जिसे कहते हैं ना पकी पकाई रोटी. Please do the hard work yourself. It will reward you one way or the other. So that's it. I just wanted to add that.
Devyanshi, we both are the teachers now, so I think you have rightly articulated this, because the same thing I have discussed, the same point I have discussed with I think Rahul Shekhar 75 rank in previous podcast, जहां पे मैंने भी ये चीज बोली है कि answer writing is not about organizing the content, it is about the organizing the thought. Correct. When you know how to organize the thought, automatically your answer writing will improve. Now imagine, I will ask every student, just imagine how much time do you really give, or do you really devote for thinking, brainstorming the questions, organizing your thoughts about structuring the answer, generating the points, generating the templates, framework, right? Usually हम लोग जब आंसर राइटिंग करते हैं क्या करते हैं, whatever जो हम लोग मेमोराइज करके आए होते हैं, we just dump it. Where is your mind? Your mind is playing no role at all in that case, right? And we think of improvement in the answer writing. So brainstorming is very, very important, and definitely when the students are going to realize the importance of this process, I'm sure the marks in the answers is definitely going to improve, because your answers will be very different than those who are just going to, or are going to be different from those who are just, mugging up the facts and dumping it in the answers, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think a big problem here is we are so bred into the school system. Jahan
Yes,
pe, rote learning and, you have a fixed book, fixed syllabus, you learn it up,
yes,
you dump it out. That is what we are used to. But this
yes,
is not like this. Questions are dynamic. Questions are
yes.
contemporary in nature. आप
Very good.
try भी
Yes.
कर लो वो strategy work नहीं करेगी. You
Because
you
every
have to learn
almost
to think.
60-70% question are open ended in the question, right? जब आपने attempt दिया था
Hmm.
GS paper 2 में, I have analyzed the question paper, almost
Yeah,
60-70% questions are open ended, जिसका content humanly possible ही नहीं है आपके notes में होना,
correct. Absolutely.
right? Only
So,
you can have few examples. आपके पास facts हो सकते हैं, some data, some
mm,
examples
mm,
you can have in your notes. But as far as the content, diversified content is concerned, it has to be generated on the spot. If you don't know
mm,
like how to think about generating the points logically, it will be very difficult to even fill the pages,
mm.
right? And in
Correct.
the exam hall, सबसे बड़ा fear factor ये होता है कि यार how to fill the pages, because now from the various toppers we have been we are aware that हाँ page तो fill होने ही चाहिए in 150 marks 250 words
I
the
agree. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, I
तो
agree on
content
that.
generate करने में difficult हो जाता है. So even did you follow the same this year, like filling up all the pages and
You know, I think there are two things. One,
hmm,
obviously I was trying here, you write exhaustively. Second, yeah, I was studying since 5 years.
hmm,
So I had accumulated so many things that I would have
hmm,
enough to say for most answers. तो मेरा
yes,
भर जाता था पेज, generally
okay,
speaking. Even if I wasn't
okay,
actively trying, वो भर जाता था. But as a
okay,
strategy, if you are able to do that by populating your answer with some examples, maybe a
hmm,
diagram if it suits the question, then why not? You know,
yes, any
like if
value
everyone
addition, any value addition, right?
it's a competitive exam. If everyone else is playing that game, then you also need to jump on that wagon.
Yes,
So
very right.
that is, yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Okay, so Devanshi, one more question about the answer writing, right? I think you have scored 808 marks in the mains, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So this is a very common questions many students have asked, especially who could not who could not find their name in the list, right? So they asked me a very important question, sir, whether to focus or on more number of points or more narrative points, means because there are rankers, right?
Mm.
For
Mm.
example, I think I'm not able to recall the name. There are some rankers who write like only 5-6 points, but they narrate it very well, right? उनके हर points दो दो तीन तीन line के होते हैं. But on the
Mm.
other side, there are some rankers who focus more on more number of points. So their points are very, very small, very brief. Like in one line, they will have 1 point. On the
Mm.
other side, there are some rankers who write like the points in three lines format. So what would you suggest? Do you have any suggestion like which one is a better way to write the answer, or it is just or it does not really matter as far as you have the good content?
Uh, I feel that because there's so much diversity in how people write, it's very difficult for
Yes.
me to exhaustively claim which is better. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, what worked was giving myself an SOP. What do I mean by that?
Okay.
If it's a 10-mark question,
Mm-hmm.
I will try and write 5 to 6 points, if possible.
Okay.
That was my aim. If it
Under
is a
each
15
dimension
mark,
you were talking about, under each demand, Divyanshi?
let's say there's a question which is asking, two parts to the question. It's a 10 marker. Then my aim
हाँ.
would be कि मैं दोनों पार्ट्स में 3 से 4 पॉइंट्स दूँ. इफ अगर
Mm-hmm.
उसमें एक ही हेडिंग बन रही है, तो मेबी आई विल
Mm-hmm.
गिव अ सपोर्टिव डायग्राम और समथिंग लाइक दैट एंड देन जनरेट अबाउट 6 पॉइंट्स. कभी-कभी उससे ज़्यादा भी हो जाता था. दैट्स मी गिविंग
Okay.
माय सेल्फ अ मिनिमम सो दैट
Mm-hmm.
आई डोंट हैव टू कॉन्स्टेंटली थिंक इन एवरी आंसर कि यार अभी इसमें इतने लिखूँ, इसमें इतने लिखूँ. मैंने अपने लिए वो डिसीजन फटीग खत्म कर दी है. दूसरी
Okay.
चीज़ अ, दूसरी चीज़ ये है, nothing will matter if your answer does not have logic and good content. You could write 10
Yes.
points, you could write 15 points. If the content isn't there, it will simply not matter. Your answer
Yes.
should have an ease of reading to it. It should be
Yes.
logical. And it would
Yes.
be like, I used to tell myself that someone's asked you a question, they've asked you to explain it to them in, 7, 8 minutes. How would you go about
Mm-hmm.
it? You keep it simple, you keep it understandable. Let that be your
Yes.
method, you keep it logical. जब तक वो
Yes.
चीज़ नहीं है, देखो आप ईरान-तुरान के कितने मर्ज़ी पॉइंट्स लिख दो, अगर उसकी
Yes.
रिलेशन नहीं है क्वेश्चन से, तो कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Give
Yes.
yourself give yourself some metrics that work for you. Every
Yes.
person is an individual person how they write. And just
Right.
keep practicing that. Just keep rinse and repeat practicing that. Don't think about who
Yes.
is saying what, who is saying this strategy, वगैरह. You make your own strategy what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I feel in
Yes.
that.
That logic wala point is very, very crucial because, you can say when we sit in the exam, when we see the question, we don't really give ourselves a reason to find the logic to generate the point, to write the answer.
Mhm. Mhm.
We start recalling the facts, the notes which usually we prepare during our preparation. क्योंकि उस
Hmm.
समय टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट इतना होता है, प्रेशर होता है, हमको लगता है कि क्या सोचना है, दिस टॉपिक इज ऑलरेडी वी हैव कवर्ड इन द नोट्स, सो लेट्स पिक अप द पॉइंट फ्रॉम माय नोट्स एंड write the answer. Right, we don't give ourselves a reason to find the logic. Logic means what is the demand of the question, what is the mindset of the examiner, why this question is
Right.
asked, right?
Correct.
If you are not asking all these parameters, then I am damn sure no matter how good content you have prepared during your preparation, it is not going to help you to fetch extra marks at all.
Hmm.
Right, so that logic
Absolutely.
wala point,
Hmm.
Devyanshi, is very, very important. And all the students who are watching this podcast, please, it's my humble request to focus more on the logic. Content
Hmm.
तो over the period of time हम लोग के पास आ ही जाता है, और 150 words and 250 words is not a difficult task to write,
इनफैक्ट आपका
right?
कंटेंट उससे ज़्यादा ही होता है. अगर आप
उससे ज्यादा
कंटेंट ही लिखने पे
exactly,
आओ, तो आपके पास उससे ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन होएगी. एक्चुअली टास्क
exactly,
ही ये होता है, आई थिंक आफ्टर अ पॉइंट इन योर प्रिपरेशन जब आप इतना पढ़ चुके हो, तो अब मैं इसमें से सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें उस पेपर पे कैसे उतारूँ? यही
exactly.
टास्क होता है वेरी फ्रैंकली.
हाँ, हाँ.
तो
And even
या
nowadays, Devyanshi, students are following it blindly because now the culture of one pager note has started, right? आपने भी सुना होगा, the culture of one pager note has started. Many few students basically understand what exactly is the one pager note. One pager note is not something कि मैं आपको एक टॉपिक का कंटेंट एक पेज में निकाल के दे दूं. That is not actually the one pager note is, right?
हुँ,
So I
हुँ,
think this is again where the students are going wrong. जैसे आपने
हुँ,
बोला कि one page, the notes or the content should be only like it should be the value addition points which you can use to write the, which you can
हुँ,
include in your answers to make your answers more valuable, more different than the other students, right? So that is the purpose of one pager notes actually. But yes,
टोटली.
the logical thinking wala point is very important. And I think when we talk about the logic, it is it will get developed when you are going to practice on a daily basis.
ट्रू.
What do you think about it? Yes, like आप भले ही 2 question करो, 3 question करो, but do it on a daily basis.
डू इट ऑन अ डेली बेसिस, डू इट ऑन अ कंसिस्टेंट बेसिस. इट शुडंट बी कि
Yes,
आपने अभी 4 दिन देखो 20 क्वेश्चन लिख लिए एंड देन यू हैव लेफ्ट इट फॉर द होल मंथ. डोंट डू दैट,
yes,
यू
don't do
नो,
that, right?
because again, re-emphasizing that it is not a test of knowledge, it is a test of your communication. Communication is a skill. So
Yes,
the more you practice it, the more you became habituated of it, the better you will be.
yes, very good, very good. Yes, so this is a very, very crucial or important advice to all the students who are watching this podcast. So I hope you will not repeat the same mistake which you have been committing. And one last question, Devyanshi, how do you manage your timetable in during this phase? Because in this phase, uh, most of the students who are veterans, who have given the interviews, who have given 2 or 3 mains in the previous attempts, they are confused because एक side उनको दिख रहा है prelims is also going to be very, very dicey, right? There is no guarantee whether we are going to clear the prelims or not, or what kind of questions UPSC is going to ask. But at the same time, they also realizes that after the prelims, the time will be very less for the mains, right? Or
Hmm.
for the answer writing. So this time is very, very confusing, especially for those students who are veterans. So what is your suggestions, or what would be your advice for those, how they should be managing the times, especially the next 2 or 2.5 months? Should they quit the answer writing completely, or like what?
Okay. So my advice on this front is, if you are someone who has recently given the mains,
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're talking about the people who didn't make it to the list this year, but they were in the
Yes,
process for last year.
yes,
So I'm
yes, yes.
assuming that you have that skill set, you've been working
Mhm.
on it, but at the same time, you don't want it to become totally rusty by the time
Mhm.
mains comes. Okay.
Mhm.
Even if you're able to, you've done your day's work. Again, this is if you're able to. If you're able
Mhm.
to, if you've done your day's work, just write one answer. Just
Yes.
write one answer. It's going to take 7, 8 minutes. Think of it like having a conversation with someone, just write one. If you feel
Right.
that I am like not confident in this. Personally,
Yes.
for me, because my cycle is not exactly comparable, but I would still like to just add this one thing. I got
Mhm.
this advice from someone and it worked for me. You have to
Mhm.
rationalize your effort. जो
Mhm.
अगर मैं इसको एक 6 3 month cycle की तरह सोचूं, 6 months,
Mhm.
let's say July to December, not
Mhm.
prelim से पहले का.
Mhm.
Don't exhaust yourself. Don't be like, अरे मैं तो रोज 10 घंटे 12 घंटे whatever, is your maximum,
Yes.
मैं उतना पढ़ूंगा and I'll exhaust myself. But do
Mhm.
consistent basis पे 7 8 hours. 8 hours is a working day. Do that
Right.
much on a consistent basis.
Yes.
Build your base. Do your answer writing. Do all of
Yes.
that. Don't get exhausted. अगले जो आपके 5 6 महीने होंगे before prelims. I was very
Mhm.
scared of prelims personally because I hadn't cleared it 3 times. So I was like, I have to go
Mhm.
above and beyond. I have to, like, the day I step out of that exam hall, I want to be sure that it's happening. So
Okay.
I did give it 5 6 months. And
Okay.
that time, you can start ramping up your effort depending on what
Yes.
is required, so that, you're not
Right.
like totally done and now you can, boost your engine, so to say.
Right.
आप उस समय
Right.
अगर आप चाहें तो आप ज़्यादा पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। एंड फाइनली जब
Right.
3 महीने होंगे मेंस, उस समय तो आपको पता नहीं होगा, सुध-बुध नहीं होगी टाइम की। अगर आप मुझसे आज भी पूछें कि आप कितने टाइम पढ़ते थे? आई वुड नॉट नो बिकॉज़
Mhm.
आई वाज़ वेकिंग अप, आई वाज़ स्टडीइंग, आई वाज़ गोइंग टू स्लीप। सो आई हैव
Yes.
एब्सोल्यूटली नो आइडिया हाउ मच आई वाज़ स्टडीइंग एंड हाउ मच आई वाज़न्ट।
Mhm.
So that's my advice. As far as these 2 3 months are concerned, if you are
Mhm.
intending to give it this time, and
Mhm.
if you know how to crack prelims, like you've gotten a sense of the paper,
Yes.
just continue what you are doing. Just don't make any unnecessary changes to your process. Just keep doing what you're doing, but don't lose touch with answer writing. एक आंसर रोज लिख लीजिए. उसके बाद जब मेंस का टाइम आएगा, you just right now make a noting कि यार मुझे क्या-क्या चीजें ठीक करनी है. अभी आपके
Yes.
मार्क्स भी आ जाएँगे, एनालिसिस कीजिए, टेक हाल्फ अ डे, टेक 1 डे, डू द एनालिसिस दैट जब जिस दिन प्री खत्म होएगा, उस दिन आज मुझे इन चीज़ों पे काम करना शुरू कर.
Yes, Devyanshi, sorry, we got disconnected, I think.
नो इश्यू, नो इश्यू.
So
So
even
that's what
even
I
the
wanted to
same
say.
point, yeah. So I think the same points even I have been telling to my students. कि यार, don't bring any drastic change in your timetable. When you have given prelims, cleared the prelims couple of times, you have even cleared the mains. Then what is the point to think about कि इस साल UPSC drastic change ले आएगा अपने prelims के questions में? The nature of question, like I don't think so.
It is
Prelims में भी ऐसा
immaterial
कुछ
to the
बहुत ही,
process.
yes, stick to the process, right? So even
Hmm.
I have asked them there to at least spend just 30 minutes or max to max, okay, at least 1 hour you can devote, right? You can devote
And
it.
even if let's assuming that UPSC brings a drastic change, जो already
Mhm.
इसके अंदर सधे हुए हैं, they have an advantage over the competition. No matter what, if
Yes,
you continue with your process as is, you are already in a
yes,
better position. So don't make unnecessary changes that could land you in a soup.
yes, yes. Because you are not competing with the UPSC. You have a competition with someone who is sitting in front of you only, right? And you are already at a better position.
Absolutely.
So so this is again a very important advice for all those students who are veterans who have given the prelims and mains. Please don't bring drastic change in your preparation, right? So if you are not, I would say, if you are not able to write the answers, at least do the brainstorming of 4 or 5 questions. Hardly it will take 30 minutes, not more than that, right?
Hmm.
Even the brainstorming is as important as answer writing, even in fact more important, because it helps us to develop the logic, to think about the question, to understand the mindset of the examiner. So yes,
Yeah,
so these are the very, very important advice. I hope this will help you. Devyanshi, thank you so much for
you're
this.
welcome.
Like, this is one of the best talk I had in the podcast, where a lot of students are going to gain a lot of information. So the final
Thank you.
question, how about your journey now? Your UPSC journey is over. Now, do you have anything else you think you are going to pursue after this?
I hope to be good at, the job that I'm given. That is
Okay.
my aspiration at this moment. And yeah, I like to live in the moment. So I'm enjoying the moment that I have right now.
Okay.
So
And what
that's
about
it.
your profession? The teaching as a profession, you like it? You want to continue with this? Because even after you will become an administrator, still you will have the ample opportunity to continue with the teaching as a profession, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I really liked it, I've even interacted with like very young kids, class, 5, 6, and it was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
that's great.
We used to
Yes.
do projects together. It was a lot of fun, to be honest.
Okay, okay, okay.
So,
That's good.
yeah,
That's good, Devanshi. So thank you so much, and we are so happy that you are here with us, and we wish you best of luck.
absolutely.
And whenever, if
Yeah,
there will be a time, we will again connect. Thank you so much, Devanshi.
awesome. Thank you so much.